All right, Vice. I'm gonna kick your ass. You better watch out. You better watch out. Oh, he won! He loses it! Hi, I'm Gabe Polsky. I directed Red Army. My film's at TIFF. I'm really excited. I hope people enjoy the film. I've been playing since I was probably 4. Maybe I started a little more seriously when I was 6. As soon as I got on the ice, I knew that I just love skating. I love being out on the ice. I love being outside, because at the time I grew up in a place where there's an outdoor rink. And that's where I learned to skate, and I just love that feeling, you know? I finished the film probably, I want to say 4 months ago, in February, basically, but right around the Olympics in Sochi, which I went to.
The Russians are here.
From childhood, they really picked out the best of the best of the best. It was a different concept of how you play the game.
The skill level of that team was astounding. They elevated hockey to an art form.
They move like one body. Holy cow!
Those players will go down in history as the greatest of all time.
I didn't want to make a political documentary or a sports documentary. I wanted to make a film that was emotional and you know, poignant and powerful. I think when you focus too much on sports or politics or something kind of narrow like that, you start to lose the audience. I think you need to find a way to really relate to people through a more of an emotional way. And if you just have a great story, you know, then you have kind of everyone.
The KGB guys were always there. The game for them wasn't just the game, it was also propaganda. We're the best, and we're the best because of the Soviet system.
So I had somebody in Russia that was sort of doing some research for me, and then I had to go to Russia and go into these old archives. So they had stacks of rolls of film, and I said, okay, this is what I'm looking for, and they would go into their library cards and take me to the area where these cans were, and they would just remove them. They didn't even know themselves what was in these cans. And so I would go in and look through on a machine, rolling through and see what was there, and just like pick and choose, basically. When I first saw the Soviet Union play, I watched a VHS tape. It was 1987 Canada Cup, which is like the greatest hockey of all time. Every play on the ice that happened was incredible. It was like magic every single play. Whereas now in the NHL, you turn on a game, you watch a Stanley Cup, you maybe see 1 or 2 great plays a game, that's it. But every play was amazing. So that really piqued my interest as far as, you know, Soviet hockey and the Soviet Union. How were these guys so incredible? What did they do? How did they train? How did they live? And when I started looking into it, I realized that, you know, this story was not about hockey. It was about, you know, it was the story of the Soviet Union, you know, the people, because they all kind of had similar situation. The Red Army team was just a microcosm of everything else. And that made the story much larger and much deeper. The first place we showed the film was in Cannes, and you know, the French don't really understand anything about hockey, but they absolutely love the movie, and that was sort of when I first sort of realized that this film was going to transcend hockey. And you know, it's a human story, it's emotional, and that was really exciting. And then since Cannes, we went to Telluride and we opened at Moscow Film Festival. Our film was the opening film, and to big success. I was also really nervous about Moscow because this film's about Soviet Union and Russia, and I'm an American. I think they were surprised that an American told a story about the Soviet Union. Oh, he won! So we're going to the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is very exciting, the history of hockey, and all the memorabilia and the history we're going to see here, and see what kind of Soviet things they have. I think that, you know, in the Soviet Union, they were the greatest sports nation of all time. They always, did the best in the Olympics and were dominant in sports, and it was for a very specific reason, to basically show the world how strong and powerful and beautiful they were. It was kind of a subliminal message. Yeah, I think you can never fully understand the Russian soul, never really fully put your finger on it, but you get sort of a feeling or an idea of it, and I think that's what this film was really trying to go for. Is who are these people? What is the history? Because the Russian soul is really just sort of a compilation of many events, many historical things that happened to them. Russians have gone through a very difficult past. It's gone through many different regimes, many rises and falls, and all of that experience kind of gets into people. It gets into and becomes the Russian soul, and it's just who they are. When you talk to someone, you sort of get a sense of their soul. You can't say, oh, this is who this person is, but you get a feeling of it. And I think that's what I tried to do, is allowing people to get a feeling of who Russian people are.